We play and call it work.
Hey folks, Janene from MiniWarGaming here with another how-to video for you. In this video, we are going to continue painting this Inquisitor Eisenhorn mini, and we are going to begin all of the black on this long black coat, as well as a few other cloth areas. As always, if you have suggestions for something you'd like to see in a future how-to video, please leave them down below in the comments. We want to begin painting this coat by highlighting the large areas, and then we're going to work on adding a few details that make it look a little bit more like leather. We want to start by having everything base coated in a nice matte black. Next, we're going to take the color Inquisitor Darkness. I also want to make sure that I have Abaddon Black on my palette as well. I'm not necessarily mixing it into my paint, but I want to have it available to help me blend the transition between the two colors. We're going to mix it with a little bit of Lamian Medium. And I want to thin down all of my paints for this tutorial. However, you don't need to use Lamian Medium. You can use water or any other medium that you like. We're going to begin by just blocking out the very top of each of these large folds on the coat. I want to paint the very top area of them with a little bit of this Inquisitor Darkness color. I want to make sure that my paint is really thin. And then I'm going to go back with a little bit of my Abaddon Black, and while the colors are wet, I'm going to kind of blend the areas where there is a stark line between the two different shades. And I'm going to continue to do that process until I get a really nice flow between my colors. I'm also going to add very small layers on top to kind of help highlight as well. So once I have kind of a dark 50-50 mixture of black and Inquisitor Darkness, I can go back later and add another layer of Inquisitor Darkness on top of it so that the very top of each of these folds is nice and bright. I also want to make sure that I get the large swoop on the cloth of the sleeve and the folds at the top as well, where it's coming down from the shoulder pads. The next color I want to use is going to be Thunderhawk Blue. I'm going to paint this on the very top of each of the folds. This time I want to paint a lot less of the cloth so that I'm really focusing the bright area right at the top. And I'm doing a very similar process where I'm going to kind of block out where I want this color to be the brightest and then work on blending it into my other shades. My next color is going to be Dawnstone. And I can put this down on places that I want to really be nice and bright on the larger folds, but mostly I'm using this color as an edge highlight. All of my next layers are going to add a little bit more texture and detailing to all of the edges. So this is going to make a base for me to do that with. And it's going to make all of the edges really stand out and be a lot more noticeable. So I'm just using the side of my brush and I'm running it along all of the edges of the coat. I want to be careful that I don't slop over onto the red lining that we've already painted. And I'm also going to use this color to outline a few of the details that are sculpted on the coat. For example, all of these buttonholes on the sleeve. I want to make sure that I outline the outer edge so that those details really stand out and they don't get lost. Alright, once I have a really nice crisp edge highlight, I'm going to rough it up a little bit. I'm going to dab the very tip of my brush along that sharp line and create some areas of height and some areas that are a little bit lower so that it's not one straight line all the way across, it's jagged. That just gives the leather a little bit more roughness on the edges, since that would be an area where the leather would be more worn. And I'm also going to do that with a few of the sections that are at the very top of these swirling folds. I'm going to kind of add a few little horizontal hatchings along that really bright highlight to kind of break it up a little bit. I don't want to go too heavy-handed with this particular technique because I don't want the coat to look like it's been really beat up, but I do want it to look like it's been worn and used, so that's why the leather's not going to be completely pristine. Next, I want to take the color Flayed One Flesh, and I want to highlight the middle of some of those little crosshatch areas that I just painted. I'm using this color because it's lighter than the Dawnstone, but also because it's a little bit more of a warm, fleshy color, which is going to contrast with all my cool colors and make it seem like the dye on the leather is a little bit cracked. And I'm applying it the same way. I'm just using a small detail brush and kind of dabbing it with the tip, not painting a straight line, just making it so that it's a little bit more natural by not controlling where the paint goes as much. I'm using these same colors to paint the cloth on the legs and the sleeves as well. However, I'm not doing the same broken leather texture. I'm just doing a more traditional highlighting method where I pick out the areas that are brightest and I'm adding the brightest highlights on there. So this is just going to be a final dab on the top of some of these really deep folds in that cloth. And with that, the black coat on this Inquisitor Eisenhorn Mini is complete. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see more how-to videos, I have another one where I'm going to paint the shoulder pads on this Inquisitor Eisenhorn Mini in the MiniWarGaming Vault in the link down below in the description. If you don't already have a Vault membership, you can go ahead and click on the link, sign up for a 7-day free trial, and you can get access to my video as well as hundreds of other videos in the MiniWarGaming Vault. So go ahead and click the link, start your free trial, and happy wargaming!